Go back. All right, so let's keep reading. Is, am, and are, and was and were, and being, been, and be are here again. This time you'll see they're called auxiliary, along with do and does and did and has and have and had and shall and will and also should and might and may and can and would. Those are all called auxiliary verbs. They don't show that action, but they are verbs. They're helping verbs, and they are able to form verb phrases, as in this fable. While the hare, who should have won, was napping in the noonday sun, the tortoise, with a steady pace, was inching by and won the race. Only a verb can change its tenses, and here are some of the consequences. Irregular verbs leave you aghast. Everyone show me aghast, like you're shocked. Oh, aghast. Oops, there's a cat on my book. Sorry, that's Hazel. Goodbye, Hazel.
Pretty cat.
Thank you. So irregular verbs leave you aghast by the way they change from present to past. I write, I wrote, or I have written. I bite, I bit, or I have bitten. I sink, I sank, or I have sunk. I shrink, I shrank, or I have shrunk. These are just a few from a list of more than 52 of these types of verbs. Most irregular verbs change easily by adding on an E and D. We usually add ED, right? Like I paint, I painted, or I have painted. There are 3 moods to be expressed, and of course, it's the verb that does this the best. The imperative mood makes a request. Please take just one. Oh, I wish we could.
That cat's so cute.
Oh, thank you.
I know it. The color's just like my dog.
I think I would have to try this chocolate. Are you picking out which one you would choose if you had to take just one?
I would pick the like blue one right below that one.
Okay, it's kind of greenish blue.
Yeah,
I picked the green one.
I could go for one. I don't.
I picked the egg thing.
jelly beans.
Yeah.
I'm taking all of them.
So
I
that's
picked jelly beans.
if you think about it, 3rd grade, that's a verb. What you're doing, you're picking or choosing. That's your verb. But leave the rest. Leave it is also a verb. Or verbs can give a command. March. This is a whole sentence in one single word. And of course, this can only be done by a verb. If I said march, you would know I meant for you guys to march down the hall, which I don't usually say. The indicative mood just states a fact. We act. That's a verb. Acting is a verb. The subjunctive mood expresses a wish or uses the words as though or if. If I were a fish, that's a verb, were. As though that could be, couldn't be because I can't be a fish. I'd swim in a beautiful tropical sea. So swim is another action type verb. Verbs have 2 voices, passive and active. Choose the one you find more attractive. This egg was laid is the verb, by a hen named Sade. A hen named Sade laid this egg. So you can say was laid or you can say laid. That shows the past. It already happened. Each sentence requires one verb or more. She sells seashells at the seashore. How many of you have heard that tongue twister? Or it's like an alliteration, right?
That's not a tongue twister.
You got to try to say it about 10 times fast. She sells seashells at the seashore. She sells seashells at the seashore. So
We've
sell,
learned something like
you
that.
can do it
Like,
muted though,
first grade.
so we don't all hear. Sells is your verb. And there's the picture. All right, and here is a sentence with verbs galore. Galore just means tons of them. Lizards leap, verb is leap, and pile in a heap. Pile is a verb. And slither and climb and splash and creep and swim and cavort and fall asleep. All verbs. Now, as an important afterthought about words that are verbs and words that are not, is a verb. Did you know that? Give me a thumbs up if you know is was a verb. Is, she is happy. It's a verb, believe it or not. Not is not a verb. Then with quick converging action, is not becomes isn't. That's called a contraction. Is not becomes isn't. Use every restraint and never, no, never, please never say ain't. Because that's just poor grammar, right? I know a lot of people like to use the word ain't, but it's not proper grammar for school. All right, so that's my book.
That ain't
Hi,
happening.
Sale. Hi. I'm hoping that gave you some more schema about verbs. We're going to watch a quick video to build our schema a little bit more, and then we're going to partake in an activity that I thought would be kind of.
Read over 17 verbs.
We're going to see if we can find a verb.
Understanding action verbs,
Whoops.
physical actions.
Hold on.
At Grammar Songs by Melissa. It is important to understand action verbs when you read.
So
speak, or
that's
write.
weird. It's going with
Verbs are action words. Often these actions can be physical movements.
All right, let's try again. You guys can go through this with me. Can you see my screen? Thumbs up. Very cool. All right, let's see if it will do it again this time.
We just read over 17 verbs.
That's a lot. You've been keeping track. I love it.
Yep.
That's awesome. All right, so let's see why it did that. If it does it again, we'll just go to YouTube and find my. Today is the 16th already. It's Rainbow Week, everybody. We just didn't get to partake in it.
Woo!
I know.
Tomorrow's St. Patrick's Day, and Isabella's coming back on St. Patrick's Day.
So we have to wear green for
Yeah,
that.
wait, watch this. 1 sec.
All right, here we go. Let's see if this, oh, yay, it's working now.
Understanding action verbs, physical actions. At Grammar Songs by Melissa. It is important to understand action verbs when you read, speak, or write. Verbs are action words. Often these actions can be physical movements that you can easily see or sometimes hear. For example, it's easy to see a ball bounce or a bunny hop. And you can hear a person sing or a baby cry. Verbs are words that we use to give movement or action to our nouns when we read, speak, or write. Without verbs, there would be no action or sound. Anytime you eat, walk, talk, or even breathe, you are performing an action. So now that you know verbs are action words, let's practice finding the verb in some simple sentences. The boy threw the football. When I read this sentence, I get a picture in my head of a boy and a football. A boy is a person and a football is a thing, so they are the nouns in my sentence. So where's the verb? Which word shows the action? The boy threw the football. The boy threw the football. Of course, he threw the football. Threw is the action, threw is the verb. Verbs give nouns action when we read, speak, or write. Let's try another sentence. The baby drank the bottle of milk. When I read this sentence, I get a picture in my head of a baby and a bottle. A baby is a person and a bottle is a thing. So they are the nouns in my sentence. So where's the verb? Which word shows the action? The baby drank the bottle of milk. The baby drank the bottle of milk. Of course, she drank the bottle of milk. Drank is the action. Drank is the verb. Verbs give nouns action when we read, speak, or write. Let's practice one more time. This sentence has more than one verb. The superhero caught the robber and put him in jail. When I read this sentence, I get a picture in my head. Superhero, a robber, and a jail. A superhero is a person, a robber is a person, and a jail is a place. So they are the nouns in my sentence. So where are the verbs? Which words show action? The superhero caught the robber and put him in jail. The superhero caught the robber and put him in jail. Of course, he caught the robber and put him in jail. Caught Input are the action words. They are my verbs. Verbs give action to my nouns when I read, speak, or write. Hooray! You get an A+ on physical action verbs. Thank you for joining me at Grammar Songs by Melissa.
All right. So now what I want you to do is get a piece of paper. See if you can find a piece of paper and a pencil. I have a challenge for you. Now that we've talked a lot about verbs, I want you with a partner, or I might put you in a triad. We're going to see if we can come up with a verb for every letter of the alphabet. Okay, Logan, get your paper and pencil. If you want to use your EL spiral, if you are a remote learner, you have that. Yep. Okay. At the top of your clean sheet of paper, write verbs, V-E-R-B-S, verbs. And then on the left side of your paper, we are going to write on each line, letter of the alphabet. So I started A, B, just think of your song, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J.
Everything. K, L, M, N, O. Stop, you're missing. Oh,
All right, somebody needs to mute.
you messed me up.
T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. So just kind of go down the edge of your paper, and then you and your partner or partners are going to think of words to go with each letter that are action words. Let's do a couple together. A, can anyone think of an action word? Something you do that starts with the letter A?
Action.
Action, but that's not I'm going to action today. You know what I mean? What is something you do? Something you can say it again?
Am.
Am. I am hungry. Yes, we could do am. Go ahead and everyone can write that one in. You could have also said act. Acting is an action verb, right? I'm acting right now.
Miss Aubin.
Yeah.
You. So I can barely hear you. I mean, I can hear you, but you're like lagging.
Okay, do your best. I know internet's not great. Do your best. You can watch the screen and see what we're doing, okay? All right,
Okay.
Ben Bauer.
I heard
B.
act. I just didn't hear am.
What do you think B could be for a verb? B-b-b-b-b. Something you do. B.
Oh. Baseball?
Now that's a noun. Something you do. What do you do with a ball?
Breathe.
So I'm going to ask you not to unmute right now because I'm working. Ben has been chosen. What would you do with the ball? Look at what I'm doing here. Yeah, you would bounce it. So we could say bounce. We'll do a couple more so we make sure we understand the difference between nouns and verbs. How about the letter C? Anybody think they have a verb for C? Ellie?
Catch.
Catch. I'm going to catch that ball or catch a fish. Excellent. D as in dog, but dog is a noun. What can we do? Lucas, what do you think with D? An action word. Madison?
Dance.
Ooh, I love it. Dance. We could have also said drop, like drop a ball. Deal the cards. All right. E as in egg. What kind of action word could we write for E?
Eat.
Eat. Sure. I'm going to eat my lunch. Let's do 3 more, and then I'm going to let you work with your teams for the rest. F as in Frank. What could Frank do? Fa.
Feel.
Feel. All right. And G as in goat. G.
Go.
Go. Go. Grab. Get. And I said one more, H as in happy. Hit. Okay, I'm gonna put you in a breakout room. See if you can finish the rest of the letters in the alphabet with verbs. Let's start with each letter, and then when we come back, we'll share and see if we were successful, if we could get all of the letters of the alphabet. So I'm gonna stop sharing for a minute and put you in your breakout rooms. I think triads will be better. So I think we'll do about 7 rooms. Let's hope my math is correct. So I'll give you guys maybe 5 minutes. Think that's good? I'll check in. I'll hop into some of your rooms and see if it's enough. If it's not enough time, I'll give you more. All right, here you go. Be sure to join. Some of you might have 4 in there, which is fine. Good luck, soldiers. Haley, can you join? And Miss Ellie. All right. Oh, okay. Do I go in a room? Give them a few minutes. I think I'll give you guys a few minutes. I'll start with 7. Welcome back, everybody. I got to visit every room. You guys did wonderful. I was so impressed. I think only one group probably got a chance to finish. Am I right? Did some of us need more time still? If you didn't finish, you can finish with me. Let's see if we can conquer this challenge. Let's look. So we said I met with every group. We said was the best verb. That was a hard one. I did come up with ignite, to set fire to, like to ignite something. J, most of you said jump. K, most of you said kick. For L, I heard look. I also heard lick. For M, I heard marry. I'm going to marry someone. I also heard make. I heard move. And then I stopped there. I didn't hear many more. So N, who can give me an N? Raise your hand.
All the way to Z.
That's awesome. All right, Josh, Carter, what'd you get for N?
Nudge.
Nudge. Wow, that's creative. I'm going to nudge you like a little push. What about O? That one's tricky. Anybody get one for O?
No.
What do you think, Isabella?
Offer.
Wow, that's a great one. I'm going to offer you a snack. That's something I'm doing. All right, what about P? Elena Ba. What'd you guys get for P? Pop a balloon. You could do pick berries. Okay, Q is
Clack.
Quack.
Let's see who's raising their hand. I'm gonna choose Haley Calendar. What'd you get for Q?
I got quit.
I'm going to quit working now. Yep, that's an action for sure. R. Anybody get one for R?
Don't quit.
Never quit. Persevere. Cooper, what about your group? Did you get to R? No?
No, we didn't.
Can you think of something you might do around the track that starts with an R?
Ran.
That is that Cooper? So Lila Maris, make sure you let other people have a turn. Cooper, what would you do around the track?
Well, I wasn't thinking that, but I was thinking raise.
Race, run, race. Yeah, race around the track. I like that better. What about S, Logan Peters? What did you and your team get?
Snap.
Snap? Okay, what about sled? Did anyone go sledding?
Sit.
Sit. All right, Nixon, what about T? What'd you get for T?
Take.
Take. I'm going to take your picture. U gets harder. Ellie, what did you guys get for you?
Understand.
Oh, excellent. You guys are so smart. And V. Lila Maris, thanks for raising your hand.
What we got for V is vial.
So a vial is something you would put liquid in, right? So it's a noun, but you could take your steering wheel of a car and veer to the right. So veer would be one. What about W, Abby?
Our team didn't get there, but wish.
Wish. I'm going to wish for a new car for my birthday. Oh, I don't know about X. That's going to be tricky. What do you think, Paxton?
X-ray.
Yeah, that can be used as a noun or a verb, right? I'm going to X-ray your foot. So it means you're going to take a picture, or you have an X-ray of your foot. Sure. I'm impressed. Good job. I was thinking exit, but you'd have to add an E to it. Like I'm going to exit the building, but doesn't actually start with an X. What about Y? Did anyone get Y? Oh, I have one. If you guys,
I do.
who's I do? Go ahead, I do. I think it's that Cole and Noah.
Yell.
Yell. Oh, I like it. Mine was yelp. Good. Oh, and there is one for Z. If you guys didn't think so, there is. Noah, do you know what it is? And Cole?
Zip lining.
I'm zip lining. Sure. Or I'm going to zip up my jacket. Zip lining can be a noun or a verb, depending on how you're using it. We are zip lining across the rope. Yes, Lila Maris.
We're on Zoom.
We're zooming. Zoom is a thing.
On Zoom.
Yeah, on though starts with an O. So zooming maybe.
Zoom.
All right, I know you guys don't have your EL workbooks if you're in-person learners, but if you are remote, go ahead and get out your EL workbook and turn to page 50. Page 50. P50. Page 50. If you are in person, you can look at my screen and you'll get the idea, okay? And you're going to help me.
And which book?
EL workbook.
No, like which EL workbook? The new one or the old one?
Well, we're done with the old one, right? We don't even have that. What is she going crazy about?
I don't know what you're going crazy about.
Nala, stop it. No. No. Okay, so we're going to look, I hope you're on that page 50 if you are remote. The rest of us are going to look at Mrs. Aubyn's screen here. It says, look at the scrambled sentence below. This is from One Well, the book we've been working with Mrs. Harrison with. Write it in the correct sequence. So we have 4 sections. You guys have to help me put it in order. Is not evenly distributed across the globe. Nearly 1/5 of the world's population, because water, does not have enough access to water. What do you think is going to go first? Which section do I write first? This one's tricky. I need to make a complete thought out of those sections. It's all scrambled up. I need help. Isabella, help. Which one?
Because water is the first one.
Usually we don't start with. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'm going with it. I see where you're at. And why do you know that? What does it have that we know it has to be because water?
It has a capital B.
Yep. That's the giveaway. Okay. What's going to follow that? Do you think, Logan Peters, after because water?
Not evenly distributed. I can't say it. Across the globe.
Is not evenly distributed. Think about verbs. We could have used that for our D, distributed. Like when someone distributes something, you pass it out, you give it out. Because water is not evenly distributed across the globe, comma. This is what kind of sentence? Is it compound or complex, Ellie?
Complex.
You're so smart. Yep. The word because, right? So right now, if we stopped and we had because water is not evenly distributed across the globe, it would not make sense. We need more. So what's the last part after that, Ellie? Do you want to tell me? So we've got because water is not evenly distributed across the globe. We have 2 more sections. What goes next?
Nearly 1/5 of the world's population.
Do you want to finish it?
Sure. Does not have enough access to water.
That makes me so sad. Does not have, and I am out of room. I'm going to write it down here. Have enough access to water. And we saw that. Remember when we had Mrs. Woodside come in, but she came in virtually and talked about that school in Africa and how they had to walk to get their water. And then half the time it was not good water. Oh, makes me sad. Okay, so now that we have this in the correct sequence, I want you to tell me or write on your paper, what are the verbs? If you're remote, you have the workbook, you can just underline them. What are the verbs in the sentence? And then it says to write the function of one of the verbs below. So first, just underline the verbs. I already gave away one of them. Josh Carter, do you think you know one of the verbs? Because water is not evenly distributed across the globe, nearly 1/5 of the world's population does not have enough.
Is globe one?
What is it? Paxton, what is the first one? What?
Distributed.
You did it. Distributed. It's not distributed. That means passed out, shared. It's not evenly shared across the globe. Is there another one? Abby, what do you think? Look down here. 1/5 of the world's population does not what?
Have.
Yeah, have. Remember we read it in that book that sometimes our words don't always show the action, but they are verbs. They don't have enough. They
Yeah.
can't access, right? Access is something you do. Okay, so we underline the verbs in the sentence. What is the function of distributed? What does that mean? So let's write distributed. The function of that is to show what?
Is it still my turn?
It shows that water is not what? What do we say when we distribute something? We do what, Logan? We give it. Amazon distributes packages, right? What are we talking about? Passing out what? Is not given out equally, right? There's not enough. They don't have access. They can't get it. All right. We're going to look down here, add a noun and a verb to the sentence frame to design, so describe something in your classroom. We are not going to do classroom because we're not in a classroom. I want you to look in your bedroom or your kitchen, wherever you are. We'll make the, and then you can make this. I'm going to make mine kitchen. and you're going to use is or are. So I'm going to say in my kitchen, dishes is going to be my noun. Dishes are piled up around the kitchen. You might say, dust is gathering on the furniture around my bedroom.
We could say toys are stacked on top of each other. I mean, toys are piled on top of each other.
I love that, around your bedroom. Does anyone else have another one to share? Logan? And then Lila Maris?
Toys are everywhere. My toys
Around.
are everywhere in my room.
I love it. Lila Maris, what is yours?
Soon I will have Alice in Wonderland stickers all around my room.
Excellent. All right, let's look at part A. What part of speech is the word gather in the sentence below? You have to circle one. I'm going to read it to you. You tell me which one you think it is. There they gather water for the day. Just a few jugs, barely enough for drinking, cooking, and cleaning. So think about that word gather. Is it a noun, a person, place, or thing? A pronoun, which is a word that replaces the noun. An adjective, a describing word. A verb shows action, or an adverb, a word that describes a verb. Stand up if you think it's a noun, the word gather. They gather water for the day. Stand up if you think it's a pronoun. Stand up if you think it's an adjective. Stand up if you think it's a verb. Yay! You should be standing, right, Ben? It is a verb. It's not an adverb. When they say they gather, what is the function of the word gather? Write the function of gather. The way gather is being used, they're doing what? What are they doing, Nixon? There they gather water for the day. Just a few jugs, barely enough for drinking, cooking, and cleaning.
It means like taking it, like getting it and like go and get a lot of it.
Okay, so get, right? Gather, to explain how they get their water. That's the function, right? That's what it's being used to explain how they get. Gather meaning get. Okay. Show me fist to 5, how you are feeling about verbs and the function of verbs. They're showing what the noun is doing, right? Fist to 5 means I got it, 4, getting there, 3, 2, 1, yikes. Lots of 5s, some 4s, not bad. That was a funny face, Paxton. 10 for Abby. Robert's giving me a 4. Elena, how you feeling? A 3. We'll keep working in EL with it, and we'll do a lot with parts of speech this week. I think the hardest is trying to understand the function of it. That just means its purpose. The purpose of the verb is to tell you what that noun is doing. All right, guys, I got to get my voice ready and my materials ready for math. So I'm going to take a little break. Hey, come back to this math.
See you later.
And
Bye.
Isabella, I'll see you
I
a
can't
little early tomorrow morning.
you tomorrow.
Guys.
Bye.